Coming to the anterior approaches, Carl Hutter, way back in 1881, was the first to describe anterior approach to the hip joint. But the problem was this particular publication was in German language, and hence most of the world which followed English language and could not follow German language was not able to access and understand this particular approach. Smith Peterson in 1917 described a similar anterior approach which was published in English, and hence it is more widely followed. Of late, though, the Hutter's approach is coming back in a big way, especially in trauma surgery and arthroplasty. In trauma surgery, for direct exposure in case of open reduction for fracture neck femurs, and in case of arthroplasty, as a direct anterior exposure, direct anterior approach, that is DAA, for total hip replacement. This was the original publication by Hutter, which was in German language. He had shown the approach, marked it on a schematic representation. Patient is positioned supine. This is the head end and this is the leg end. This is of the left hip. We first mark the anterior superior iliac spine and the tip of the greater trochanter. The incision starts about 3 centimeters distal as well as lateral to the anterior superior iliac spine. It is a straight incision about 5 to 7 centimeters, which could be slightly curved to the medial side. The original description was for a dissection in between the sartorius and the tensor fascia lata, but in this plane runs the lateral cutaneous nerve of thigh, and hence it is preferred to make an incision about 1 to 1.5 centimeters lateral to the plane between sartorius and tensor fascia lata. Once the sartorius and tensor fascia lata are retracted away from each other, we reach the rectus femoris muscle. This is retracted medially, and then we are on the capsule, on which a capsulotomy is done and the hip joint exposed. Also, by retracting it medially and creating capsulotomy on the medial aspect, the calcar region of the femoral neck could be reached for open reduction of fracture neck femurs. There is a true internervous plane, that is between the femoral nerve and the gluteal nerve. Like was seen, the structure that is at biggest risk is the lateral cutaneous nerve of thigh, which if damaged could lead to meralgia paresthetica. The femoral nerve could also be damaged, especially if the appropriate plane is not followed and dissection is carried out medial to the sartorius. Also, during placing of retractors, it can stretch the nerve leading on to neuropraxia. The other structure which is at biggest risk are the circumflex vessels. These are multiple twigs that run from distal to proximal on the anteromedial aspect, which needs to be identified and ligated. If not, they can lead to significant bleeding. This is an extensile approach, so as to say that it could be extended both proximally as well as distally. Proximally, it could act like an exposure to the acetabulum, the anterior column of the acetabulum, and by making a distal incision, the femoral shaft could be exposed. The advantage is that there is very less muscle damage since it's a true intermuscular plane that needs to be followed. Plus, the biggest advantage is that there is absolutely no damage to the abductor mechanism. That is, the gluteus medius is not dissected in this particular approach. This is of an advantage, especially in arthroplasty, since if the abductor mechanism is untouched, the chances of dislocation postoperatively incidence reduces significantly. But it has a significantly steep learning curve since the incision is quite small compared to say a posterior approach in which one needs to work to reach the hip and the acetabulum, and if the proper muscular planes are not followed, there could be significant bleeding, especially with the circumflex vessels. Coming to Smith-Peterson approach, which is also a type of anterior approach, it is nothing but slight proximal extension of the Hutter's approach. The distal arm is similar to the Hutter's approach, which is about 3 centimeters lateral and distal to the anterosuperior spine, but this incision is carried along the outer lip of the iliac wing up to two-thirds of the iliac wing. This is the difference. Plus, one of the biggest difference is lies with the fact that the entire gluteus maximus and the medius is detached from its origin on the iliac wing, thus exposing the entire posterior part of the iliac wing along with the capsule and the anterior joint, the hip. So the distal part is similar to Hutter's approach with an extension proximally which exposes the iliac wing and hence gives a wider exposure, but with the disadvantage of damaging the gluteus maximus and medius.